Have you been feeling other symptoms lately? Sometimes I feel a little foggy. Don't seem to always get things. For example, Obama. Another example, the Patriots losing to the Giants. You're covering. The idea of not having you. You will never not have me. You said we were done. I was angry, Denny. I'll get by it. Our friendship will survive an act of poor judgment. Really? Really? If you want to call off the bet, I have no interest in doing that. I plan on winning. Double it. Done. Don't tell. Oh. Thank you. You forgive, I forget. Make a good team. Yes, we're a very good team.
It's surprising to have to explain the rudiments of our legal system to opposing counsel, but I am not suing anyone. My client is suing because his brother, a soldier, was killed by a military hospital. By the way, there are no pools being heated here. I don't have one. And as for my client, he should be so lucky to have a house, let alone a pool, although I'm sure he'd prefer to have his brother. Private Richard Canfield was in the Fort Wayne Military Hospital getting basic follow-up treatment for wounds sustained in Iraq, wounds he was healing from nicely. He began to have trouble breathing due to an adverse reaction to medicine he was mistakenly given. The doctor then inserted a breathing tube incorrectly and proceeded to pump air into his stomach. By the time they figured out their mistake, 15 minutes later, Private Canfield had severe brain damage. 3 days later, he died. None of this is in dispute. Had this same malpractice happened to me or you, our estates would receive million-dollar settlements. But because Private Canfield was a GI, not a nickel. Apparently, we can all live with that. This Ferris doctrine is as unfair as it is patently ludicrous. There is no danger of revealing military secrets. Discovery would only go to medical records. And frankly, I am mystified as to how this could possibly affect military discipline. Would the troops suddenly stop saluting or begin marching in crooked lines? And as for the supposed burden on the government, you've got to be kidding me. What about Private Canfield's horrific ordeal? Not to mention the obvious fact that while our government will undoubtedly survive, Private Canfield did not. I would say to you, Your Honor, these are our kids who are dying. But it's not really our kids, is it? Not for the most part. It's the poor people's kids. And the dirty little secret, some might say windfall, of our record poverty and disparity of wealth is that we've got plenty of poor people with kids to fight our wars.
I'm sorry, but I'm offended by that.
Are you? Really? How about a Republican presidential candidate who opposes educational benefits for GIs so as not to encourage troops to leave the military? Keep their options limited. Does that offend you? How about all the war profiteering by the rich? How about the fact that while an Army sergeant gets an annual salary of $70,000, private security guards hired by Blackwater and DynCorp get $400,000 to $500,000? Does that offend you? All kinds of wonderful, lucrative deals can happen in war, but for the GIs, we've got the Ferris Doctrine, which means when a GI is killed by hospital negligence or even deliberately by a doctor, not a nickel. How can this not shock our national conscience? The media gives it little, if any, shrift. Mr. Mathis clearly doesn't care. And me, hell, I even placed a bet on the case. How can it be that we don't much care? Maybe because it's not our kids who are dying.